Cool.
Says Paris, Texas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Hello, this is Kevin Morby. I'm with
Dessner.
and we're here at Levon's Barn, upstate New York, and we're going to talk about an album we just made called Little Wide Open, which is out now or soon. I've f***ed up the intro again. I feel like a huge inspiration, I've been telling people recently, like if you can consolidate it into one song, it would be the song Square One by Tom Petty, which is a very like later era, actually on a record called Highway Companion, which is funny because I feel like Little Wide Open is very much a highway record.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's small but big somehow, that song.
Yeah. Where You Come From somehow is like very kind of dusty. Middle West was like all throughout the records. That was always in my head.
Sometimes we golden in some.
That year, 2024, I felt like I was really wondering what I was gonna do with this collection of songs. I didn't know who or where or when I was gonna really make them with. And then, you know, I opened up for The National in London, that great show, and then the next day we were driving out of London, I was listening to The National, and I was literally thinking like, man, it's such a good vocal sound, when your text appeared. And I was like, oh wow, Aaron's writing me, and it was just sort of a, you know, light bulb going off moment where I was like, oh, this makes sense, I think this is what I've been looking for.
Musically, it felt like the chemistry was just there. So it was like we would play a few instruments and it would just start sounding as it does. So
yeah, it felt very, very effortless.
Yeah.
Sometimes we rest.
A lot of them were just friends, you know? Justin, you're obviously super close with Justin. I've become closer with Justin the past couple years.
Badlands, you were already singing the Tornado Siren.
Yeah.
And then Justin harmonized with you. It took me a second because I was so attached to your Tornado Siren.
Right.
But then it became a harmonized Tornado Siren, and Justin just always lifts things.
Harmonizing.
Yeah, he really does lift things, and it's it's him and Amelia doing that Tornado Siren. There's something too that I'm like, Justin's sort of from Tornado Alley, kind of. It's more north, but I like the idea of him as a Tornado Siren. But Amelia Meath, who's on the record, you know, I've known her for almost 20 years. I think sometimes you just forget how talented some of these people you've known for so long are. And then she got into the booth, and I was like, oh, she's such a star, you know? Like, she had all these ideas, and she's knocked out all this stuff, and she's amazing. But I was talking about this earlier. The Lucinda thing was the last thing we did in the studio because there's all these scheduling, you know, conflicts, but they were able to do it at the last moment that we were making the record. So I remember the last thing we did in the studio was listen to her voice, and it's kind of like the voice of God being piped in, and we were like, whoa, there she is.
That love may not want you, then that love will haunt you, and no, you won't die.
I mean, really an honor, really amazing.
Yeah, it was. There's also
Matt Davidson on the fiddle. Such a star on the album.
And the pain you've been holding can be a.
Aaron's favorite song is called All Sinners. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry to speak for you.
Yeah, I mean, I love all the songs, and I'm actually, like, I don't think I've ever listened to a record as much that I've made as this record.
It's very flattering.
But All Sinners is just this song that, like, stuck with me, has just been, may all sinners be forgiven, because it sure would be nice to see all my friends again. Like, it's just tears my heart out every time. But then I also think all the Midwest references.
Yeah.
Just
an Ohio shout out.
And in Ohio, I did send it to the National, which I had to do.
Nice.
And
But I feel like my favorite song is always changing. Die Young was my favorite for the longest time, and now I think it's Little Wide Open. Just the title track. I feel like it's kind of just like the heartbeat right in the middle of the album, and I just like it. You can just sort of live inside it. It's nice.
A little too much.
Recording a Long Pond is very, very, I think I always use the word idyllic when I'm describing it. What I like about it is that there's so much natural light coming in at all times. And I was trying to describe it the other day where it's almost like it's cabin-y, but I think the connotation with like a cabin is you're sort of closed in, and it's all this wood, which there is a lot of that. But at the same time, it doesn't feel closed in. It feels like you're sort of outside while being inside, which I really loved. And I also love the control. There's no separation between the control booth and the live room. It's all just in one room. It just feels like this thing it feels like an instrument. I feel like the studio itself feels like one big instrument.
There's some kind of weird magic there that I can't explain either. It
Yeah.
just like feels, you hear stuff and like you things come to life.
Yeah, there's some magic there.
Till the sun starts to fall down and the sky starts.
The only time I feel like I can like actually collaborate with someone is if I hear things in their music. Doesn't matter like if I'm a fan like I was of Kevin, or if it's some music that was unknown to me before. It's really like I have to feel like I already hear ideas, whether it's in their voice or in like the writing. So yeah, I guess authenticity or something, just something like where the music feels like it wants to exist and needs to exist, and you're like, those are the best experiences where you feel like you're making something that's almost like sculptural or something, like it's permanent.
It's already there.
Yeah.
That's a good way of it's funny because I feel like whenever I hear a song that I love or becomes my favorite song, or a song that I wish I wrote, you're like, oh, it was there and that person got to grab it. It's a cool thing.
Starts to blush.
It's funny because for the longest time, the demo of Field Guide for the Butterflies was what I'd show to people, and I'd be like, this is gonna be the first song of the next record. And I think that's the first one that we recorded. And in my mind and in our minds, we always thought it'd be first. And then at some point you proposed maybe it'd be the last song, which I never thought about it that way, but when I thought about it that way, it opened up this whole other possibility. The fact that it's sort of the period at the end of the, the novel that is Little Wide Open, made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that song sort of sums up everything that the record's about and been talking about, condensed down kind of into one song. Yeah. So when you said that, I don't know, it was like this liberating feeling where it opened up this whole new world for the album. In a similar way, the song I Ride Passenger, for the longest time, we thought that would be the album title. And then when I saw the artwork for the cover is when I realized I want to call it Little Wide Open, something about that.
I don't think I've ever spent so much time with an album that kind of, you have to listen to the whole thing and then you just want to start again.
A little wide open and it makes me.
This is actually a good question, whoever proposed this. I've thought about this before.
I mean, like living upstate, to me, it's like, because where I come from in the Midwest, like we did live in the woods, and we lived like 40 minutes away from Cincinnati, and like, to me it feels laid back in the same way, and just a little bit like far from something to do.
Yeah,
So.
It's funny, upstate is such a rare and special place in that it's a rural community, all these rural towns with all these artists. My first idea of upstate New York as a kid in the Midwest was watching the Ninja Turtles, the one that came out in 1989, and when they get all beat up and they have to go collect themselves before going to fight the villains or whatever, they come upstate. And I was like, what is this place they go to? And it kind of serves that purpose. You get beat up playing music and you go there and rest. Cool.
Want to say something or intro?
Okay, yeah.
Give us some context.
Cool. Hello, I'm Kevin Morby. I'm here with
Aaron Dessner.
Okay. And we're gonna have a conversation about my album, about the album that we made together, Little Wide Open. It's the worst intro ever.